Senator Capito.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for Mr. Buttigieg for being before the committee today, and thank you for the phone call that we shared, I think several weeks ago. I really appreciate that. As you know, I serve on Commerce, but I also serve on the EPW committee, which has quite a bit of jurisdiction in terms of transportation. Last year, we were able to, in the last Congress, have a bipartisan America's Transportation Infrastructure Act. We call it ATIA. We had, I think, a good compromise between Republicans and Democrat asks and wants, and we were able to win the entire EPW committee, both Republicans and Democrats, in unanimous consent for this bill. But unfortunately, we were unable to get it across the line. I guess what I'm certain that you've probably given this earlier today, and I haven't seen it, but I would like to ask for your commitment that, if confirmed, you'll work with me and others to craft a reauthorization bill that does satisfy both sides of the aisle and both parties in both chambers.
Yes, let me say I admire the bipartisan character of the EPW bill, and I'm looking forward to learning more about that and building on it as we move forward.
Well, great, thank you. I think that's going to be something we're going to be under a time frame, and as you've probably already figured out here in Washington, deadlines are good if we stick to them. And we're known for not sticking to some of them at times. So let's stick to this one. I think the certainty of having the funding sources in play and the priorities in play certainly helps all of our states in terms of commitments and moving projects forward. So I look forward to that. In October of 2020, Virgin Hyperloop announced the selection of West Virginia, and we were elated as the new home for their Hyperloop certification center. It's an exciting new mode of transportation and has the potential to transform the way Americans travel. It's a high-speed rail, but this new mode of transportation, continuing to develop, it's sort of falling in between the different regulatory environments, and we want to make sure that we are balancing innovation with ensuring passenger safety, but also being able to move this along. I think it's going to be critical for our future. So would you commit to working with me to build on the work that has already been done, to examine the proper regulatory framework for emerging technologies like Hyperloop? And I'm wondering if you have any perspective on that and other emerging technologies.
Thank you. Yes, this reminds me of some of what we were discussing earlier when it comes to automated vehicles, and Hyperloop is another example where technology is being developed, industry is advancing, and we have to make sure the regulatory framework keeps up, both that it keeps up in terms of securing our safety and other goals, and that it keeps up in terms of making sure that these new technologies can flourish in a safe way. And so I'm eager to work with you on making sure that we do that, knowing all of the emerging technologies that are set to mature in the 2020s.
Well, Secretary Chow, during her stewardship, created, with the help of Congress, a regulatory framework sort of so that people who are Virgin Hyperloop and others have a place to go to find out the answers. So I look forward to working with you and that entity to make sure that we're moving that along. I'm not going to ask you about how you're going to pay for the transportation bill, because if you had an answer for that, and all of us did, there's a lot of ideas out there, but it's not as easy as we all make it sound, is it? I don't think so. So I'm going to skip that one because I'm certain that you've been asked about that. I do want to talk about something else I mentioned to you, which is the completion of the Appalachian Highway development system that was conceived in the 60s to open up Appalachia. There is one very important project remaining in that, important to my state, Quarter H. It's moving towards completion, but it's still pretty rugged territory, and we need to have that commitment. So I would like to ask you to work with me to continue this commitment to see the completion of Quarter H as it moves through as the last phase of the Appalachian Development Highway System. So any comments you might want to make there?
I certainly want to learn more about this this important initiative, and yes, I recall you raising this in our prior conversation, and would welcome a chance to work with you on this. Well,
when we complete it together, we'll ride those hills through the beautiful venues and sceneries of West Virginia, because it's going to be it's really going to open up a part of our state that will be able to benefit not just from tourism but economic development and other things. And after all, that's what transportation corridors are for. And so along with safety, I'm very, very excited about it. But thank you for being here. Congratulations on your nomination, and look forward to seeing the next steps. Thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you very much, Senator Capito.